DaBaby's under pressure because, you know, he's always in the news, but he didn't take a painting from this gentleman. So let's take a look at this, and he responded, and let's see whose side we on.
Hey, Rock, hey, now,
I got a lot of opinions on this, but I'm gonna wait to give my opinion until we hear what DaBaby says. All right, he shows him the painting. Shows up. I guess they asked outside of a club appearance. You know, I've seen this before. He shows him the painting of his two daughters. He looks at it, looks at it, gets up out of there. Now I'm confused. If he didn't like it so much, you know, he looked at it pretty long.
Hey, Rock, hey, now,
Let me look at that one more time. Really going to analyze it.
Hey, Rock, hey, now.
Because these are two big ass pictures of his daughters now. You can see he looked long as if like he really wanted to analyze what was going on. I think he just didn't like the paintings, to be honest with you. Just off of first glance, breaking this video down, I don't think he liked the painting. I just don't think he thought, he was like, do I want to take that? Nah, I'm good. And he just left it alone. That's all I think it was too. I don't think he was mad that he painted his daughter. I don't think it was none of that. Just off of first glance, because he's staring at the picture. He not looking like this. He ain't say like, bruh, what are you doing? He ain't say nothing to him. He ain't check him. I don't think it had nothing to do with the painting, man. I don't think it had nothing to do with his daughters being, you know, a sore subject. I think he just didn't like what he had. Now, let's see what DaBaby responded with.
And another thing too, man, because y'all starting to get on my motherfucking nerves. Talking about Buddy with this painting of my two of my daughters that he presented to me outside of a nightclub or whatever. First and foremost, I'm not the type of father that I'm not into, like, you know, grown ass men discussing my daughters, painting pictures of my daughters, taking pictures of my kids. I don't play like that. If you play like that, to each his own. You see what I'm saying? Like, more power to you. Send that nigga a picture of your daughters, let that nigga paint them, and then show him some appreciation. Number two, I'm not accepting no painting of my daughters outside of a nightclub. Number three, you see what I'm saying?
See how he listing things out? I don't think it had nothing to do with pictures of his daughter. Because if that was the reason, that's the reason. Done. You add in more reasoning. Well, I ain't accepting no paintings outside the nightclub. I think simple and plain, he thought the painting was ass and he just didn't want to take it. That's all it was. I think he looked at it, he was like, I don't want that. And just kept it moving. But I think he tried to find an angle to where we would all understand and not think he's a bad person by saying, yo, I don't want no grown man painting pictures of my daughter. Because that, you just made it weird. I'm gonna be honest, like, I understand where he coming from. I can't be mad. I can't be mad at the logic. But I think even addressing it like that makes it weird. You know what I'm saying? Because you can say anything about a kid and the way you position it will be weird, right? You could say, yo, the coach is taking all the players out for ice cream after the game. Cool. I don't want no grown man giving my son an ice cream cone. You feel me? You in his car eating ice cream with a grown man. Anything you say, the way you can position it can make it sound weird and just change the whole narrative of everything. So although I do agree with what he's saying, he did a pivot out of the situation to make himself look like the good guy. Now, I don't fault DaBaby in this whole situation. Let me go ahead and go to what they actually responded and said. Let me see what the rest of what DaBaby said.
Number two, I'm not accepting no painting of my daughters outside of a nightclub. Number three, you see what I'm saying?
Number three, you see what I'm saying? He trying to think of reasonings.
You feel a way about, you know, the principles I stand on with my kids and how far I go to protect them. That ain't none of my concern. Be more grateful to it. Let's go.
Right. So the guy follows up and says, here's the viral painting, guys. I don't see nothing wrong with it. Hey, shout out to DaBaby and his beautiful family. Now I saw Charleston White. He responded on this and said that this is actually his cousin or something like that, and he does paintings all the time. And would I want a painting of my kids? No, I wouldn't. Would I trip on it? No. Would I accept it? I would accept everything. See, the thing I don't really understand about rappers, they don't realize that we're in a time nowadays where rappers aren't as important as they used to be. Entertainers, rappers, all these people that just used to be very mysterious and we just idolize them. We don't idolize a lot of people anymore. People who are just untouchable, like, you know, I still Beyonce and, you know, Jay-Z, Kanye, them type of people. But DaBaby, I don't see him as those type of people. I don't know what list I will put him on. He's probably B tier, hell of a rapper, but nobody that's gonna, I don't think people idolize DaBaby. I think girls see him when they go to his concert and like him, but nothing that's gonna prevent him from getting hate online. And especially, let me just say this real quick before I go back in on this subject. With social media, how, you know, you could post a reel and your favorite celebrity likes it. And you like, man, what the heck? How do they like it? Right? Or you might post a video and it all on Instagram, TikTok, you see people comment, you see people repost, and it's people that have blue checks. It's people that are celebrities. The accessibility that we have to celebrities and accessibility that we have to people that we once looked up to or listened to, watch, anything, changes how we view them. And I don't want to say it changes it in a way that we don't care about them anymore, but it's a way that people will say, hey, DaBaby, you wrong for that, and not feel like, damn, I shouldn't be saying this to you because you somebody I like. You know what I'm saying? People will tell you their opinions, right or wrong. So the fact that he reposted the video on his feed, I don't think this, I was debating if I felt like it was disrespectful, because I'm like, well, look, you know, he just told you he didn't like that. And if you're a fan of his, you wouldn't disrespect him in a way to post it. But what I think he's doing is, look, man, I spent my time making this painting. Yes, it was of your daughters, but I'ma still post it. I'ma still get the credibility I felt like I deserve, whether you give it to me or not. Now, do I agree with that? No, I don't agree with that. I feel like, bro, you made it for him and his daughters, right? If he don't want it, he don't want it. But you don't need to be posting it all over your page, because it's weird now. Now it's weird. Now you got pictures of a man, kids that don't want you to have it. You know, it's a weird. If I was B White, I would tell B White, don't do this shit again. Paint a picture of DaBaby, bro. Paint a portrait of DaBaby holding his, kids or something. But like, just of the kids is weird. It is weird. After he says don't do it and you still post it on your page, right? I didn't think it was weird at first, but once he starts to say it is, you got to just eat that, bro. Bite the bullet and move on. Now, shows the picture, cool. DaBaby responds, you still got my daughters on your page. As a grown man, after I made it clear, I ain't comfortable with that. Steady playing this online stuff. So when God put me back in front of you, I'm gonna show you how serious I am about my daughters. Best advice I can give you: get off my children. Get my children off your page. Keep doing what you gifted at doing. Using my kids ain't the route to go if you want to go viral. That's the route to go if you want to get heard. That's a father talking, not a rapper. Now listen, like I said, DaBaby saying this makes perfect sense. You can't be mad at him. You can't say nothing that he's at fault about. But he played the victim role, and I feel like he just did it because he was quick on his toes to flip the narrative. Because I think from that video, it looked like he just didn't want he didn't want the painting. And be white, you gotta just be a grown man and eat it, bro. You gotta eat that. You gotta say, look, he didn't want the painting, he didn't like it, regardless of the reasoning. Go home. It was a risk. It was a risk for you to stand outside the nightclub and hope DaBaby takes your painting, bro. You knew that it was a risk. It was a risk that security said, watch out. It was a risk that you didn't even get to that point where you even got his attention. So my thing is, yes, you might not like his response, but at the same time, if you taking the risk to make a painting without anyone knowing, without any knowledge of any rapper that you like, and you gonna stand out the nightclub and wait for him, you got to be able to eat the results. If he likes it, great. You got put on. You got your painting to DaBaby. If he don't like it, then you got to just eat the fact that he don't like it, bro, and don't go on your page and start posting it and then try to get attention and sympathy. We not giving you sympathy. I'm not giving you sympathy because at the end of the day, it's a risk. You gambled and you lost, and it's okay. Next time, paint the rapper. Next time, use like you said, do other things, bro. You're talented as an artist, talented as a, muralist or whatever you do. Do that. Don't try to, be innovative and paint the kids, because, it's okay. You live and you learn. But then it's like, now you gotta eat that, bro. Don't be petty and start posting your work still, right? Because your work involves other people's family. So at the end of the day, it's a weird subject, tricky subject. I think DaBaby just didn't like it. And I think, the person who painted it is in the wrong.